Hello and welcome to the GrapeSEED Official Podcast. We are moving right along in our Next Gen series, and today's topic is GrapeSEED Connect, another exciting newcomer. For this episode, we welcome two guests, Paula from the curriculum team and Jeannie from the global training team. Both were on some of our original Open the Box episodes when we first launched the podcast, so I am very glad to have them back. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
Welcome. Let's start here with this question. What is GrapeSEED Connect and what does it do?
All right, so I guess I can go first. So one of the things about GrapeSEED Connect is it was specifically designed and developed for our schools and teachers who wish to provide an engaging GrapeSEED classroom experience online. And so basically we take everything that you can do in person with GrapeSEED and we try to maximize it in an online environment. So we still provide that teacher-student interaction that mirrors what you would do in person as closely as possible, even though you're not actually in person, but you're online. So that is kind of what the whole purpose of GrapeSEED Connect was. And it is an online platform that teachers can log into and actually teach with their kids all in one space.
So this is more or less kind of the next evolution of the lesson viewer that was kind of put together just to deal with COVID stuff.
Yes, this is quite a bit more advanced than Lesson Viewer, but we actually took Lesson Viewer as the idea behind it, and we created our own GrapeSEED platform to teach on instead of having to use Zoom or any kind of Google platforms or anything like that.
Perfect. What are some of the major features of GrapeSEED Connect?
Oh, this is exciting. I like to talk about this kind of stuff. So first of all, as a former teacher, one of my favorite features is we have online teaching instructions that go with each component. So in the past, when we teach, it's like, or in person when we teach, we have to look at our lesson plan. But online on GrapeSEED Connect, everything is already there. So the questions you would ask, sample answers are there, and activity ideas are already there. So you can just scroll down. You can actually pin your teaching instructions if you want to leave them up there so you know which questions you want to ask. So that's one of my favorite features with GrapeSEED Connect. One of the other things that's kind of cool is we have a zoom in and zoom out feature. So when you want to zoom in on your curriculum or a component, you can just click the plus arrow and you can actually make it bigger for the students to see some of those small details in the artwork that are really important. And then we also have stickers. And so this is really fun because we've embedded stickers so that kids interact like they're engaged with you during class. So as a teacher, when I notice my students listening and doing a good job and participating, I can actually give them stickers. And so they get this little sound effect and like a little icon appears and it goes on their name. And it's actually really exciting for them. And then another one that's really big and completely new is we have one-on-one mode, which is where a teacher can actually click on a student's name and they're redirected into a private meeting room. So this is where the whole class can't see what the teacher's talking to with this one student, which is why it's called one-on-one. So if the teacher needs to help one student with reading or writing or a question, they can go into that one-on-one room, talk with that student, and then they can come back to the classroom and be back with all of the boys and girls. So that's one of our other major features. And then the last one I will talk about is we call it Target Match. So basically when we teach in person, we would sometimes highlight the sounds or letters in our shared reading big books and poems. Well, we've built that in to GrapeSEED Connect. So all the teacher would do is when we're working on the boy poem, for example, and I'm asking the class to listen for the sound B, I can actually click on the B and the letter will be highlighted. And so the kids can clearly see that this is the sound we're targeting. And then as the students go up in units, they get to do that. The teacher can enable students to actually find sounds or punctuation in higher units and all of that stuff. So it's really cool and very interactive.
That's
so good.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I remember interviewing some teachers who were talking just about using the lesson viewer in the past and how they've had to have multiple windows open and things would need to be refreshed and things like that. And it was it was definitely a stopgap kind of solution, something that we could help teachers teach online, but it was never really going to be the final product, right? So I'm really glad to hear that there's all these features and extra things added in to make basically that much, much better and more useful for teachers.
Yeah, for sure. Like even I guess one of the features I didn't talk about was we also have the whiteboard. So I know we never had that when we were doing Lesson Viewer. So with GrapeSEED Connect, we actually have a whiteboard. It's an online whiteboard that you can pull down and you can actually write text boxes in to actually do assembly. You can circle, you can highlight things, you can track text with a built-in pointer. So we have all these things to enhance our teaching ability online, and we never had any of that with the Lesson Viewer.
That sounds a lot more useful than just opening up an extra window of MS Paint
Yes.
or Word
Right.
and then trying to do the same thing in that.
For sure.
You've already answered some of this already, but if there's any more here of using Connect, what are we able to do that we couldn't do before?
So one thing that's really cool is we can actually change units. So with Lesson Viewer, you had to load one unit for that day, right?
Mhm.
With Connect, if you teach a longer classroom, you can actually, like if I'm doing Unit 1, Lesson 15, but I have a little bit longer time and I would teach half of Unit 16, I can just go to the top and swap from Lesson 15 to Lesson 16, and it will load all the components from Lesson 16. So that's something we were never able to do before, but we can do with GrapeSEED Connect. One of the other things is we also have a built-in like teaching activity section. So this is where you'll find your target match. And so what happens is it's at the end of the component, you'll have specific pages that you're going to click on, and they're directly connected to a question. So like before you had to like go back to a page. Like if I'm asking a question from page 2 in the Mouse in the Barn story, I would have to scroll back on Lesson Viewer. Well, with GrapeSEED Connect, we've tagged that page. So all you got to do is click it. And then even if you hover your mouse over it, you're going to be able to just read the question that corresponds directly to that page.
Goodbye, my friends, goodbye. I'm sad to say goodbye. It was a good day, but now I will say goodbye, my friends, goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.